biggest problems for democracy functioning in this country is people losing the sense that they have a reason to vote. Our challenge as Greens is to convince Canadians who are turned off that their own future well-being depends on paying attention and getting out and voting. And for young people, First Nations, if you don't think your vote matters in this election, ask yourself, why do you think Stephen Harper's gone to so much trouble to make it harder for you to vote? This is the election where we get to take our country back. I'm very worried about the Unfair Elections Act, and the way around it is a citizen mobilization and taking it personally. I've been urging people to adopt a buddy system. There's 40% of Canadians didn't vote last election, so you're bound to know people who didn't vote. Find those folks and say, look, I want to take you to an advance poll. Let's make sure you're registered. I'll take you to the returning office. But a lot of Canadians don't know this, that the returning office of Elections Canada is open any day from when the writ drops, and you can vote any day during the writ period. Any day from now till October 19th, if you go to the actual returning office, you can vote, and you can make sure you're registered to vote. So it's very important particularly those groups of Canadians who are going to have a harder time proving who they are, young people, First Nations, homeless people, and anybody who's given up a driver's license or who doesn't have a driver's license is going to have a harder time voting. So go early, vote as soon as you can, and then if there's some problem with your paperwork, especially if you're in a buddy system, you and your friend can come back once you fix the paperwork problems. But voting is a right protected under our charter, and voting is a duty imposed by citizenship. When people can sit back and think, well, I'm just disgusted by politicians, and a lot of people think, I'll punish those horrible politicians, I won't vote. Guess what? If you're not voting, you're rewarding the politicians who've done the most to convince you not to vote because they don't think you're going to vote for them, and they'd rather you didn't vote. I want every Canadian to vote, whether they're going to vote Green or Liberal or NDP or Conservative, because the health of democracy in Canada depends on high voter turnout. You can't count on politicians to do this. It's citizens have to do this. So it's it's that old saying that war is too important to be left to the generals. Elections are far too important, and democracy is far too important to be left to the politicians.